back to the podcast. I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
And on today's murder menu is
Lonnie David Franklin Jr., a.k.a. the Grim Sleeper. But first, some trigger warnings. Essay, murder, and violence.
Viewer discretion is advised. Lonnie David Franklin Jr., born on August 30th in 1952 in Los Angeles, California. He grew up in South Central Los Angeles, which became his primary hunting ground. Of course, they always hunt where they're comfortable.
Of course. The neighborhood was an all-black community, and because of all of the gang activity, it was given a bad reputation. With crime on the rise, it was the perfect hunting ground.
Yeah, because, like I was saying, you got gang activity, drugs coming and going, prostitution, probably homeless at that point too, coming and going.
Without a doubt.
The cops are outnumbered, anyways. I mean, a lot of stuff that I read, people say the cops dropped the ball, which they probably did because back then they always did. Lonnie was described as an ordinary guy with a wife and kids who helped fix cars around the neighborhood for a reasonable price. Despite Lonnie's friendly demeanor. Yes. So, which I never really found why he...
3 years. Although the other two men did their full bid, Lonnie managed to only do half and do a little under a year. And he received a general discharge from the Army.
Yeah, okay, so I couldn't find why he only had to do under a year. The only thing I can think of is maybe he was younger or he flipped on the other two.
Yeah, and why was it a general discharge instead of a dishonorable discharge?
I don't know. That I do not know. After being discharged, Lonnie got a job as a garbage man. And, yeah, so he worked as a garbage man, which kind of helped the way that he disposed of his victims.
Right.
August 10th of 85, Franklin claimed the life of his first victim, a 29-year-old female, Deborah Jackson. She was beaten, raped, shot 3 times in the chest, and then disposed of her body in an alleyway with trash over her.
August 12th, 1986, he took the life of Henrietta Wright at age 34. January 10th, 1987, he took the life of 23-year-old Barbara Ward. April 15th, 1987, he took the life of Bernita Sparks, age 26. So he's keeping the age ranges pretty close.
As of right now, yes.
Bernita Sparks, age 26. November 1st, 1987, he took the life of Mary Lowe, age 26. January 30th, 1988, he took the life of Larisha Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I said that wrong. At the age of 22. September 11th, 1988, he took the life of Alice Monique Alexander. She was 18.
Yeah, so he started up here, and now he's gradually going down here. Which, these victims all were either beat, shot, photographed, and raped. Or strangled. So, like, he didn't kill them all the exact same way. He raped them,
right,
but he didn't kill them all the same way. Anitra Margaret Washington, he attempted, but she ended up surviving. So then he would go dormant for 14 years before he would strike again. So they say that's how he got the Grim Sleeper, is because he went dormant for 14 years. But did he really go dormant for 14 years, or was he just not caught?
I was going to say, because that is a very long time for a killer to go dormant.
I think what happened is I mean, he could have went dormant, but I think he didn't. I think he just got smarter with the way that he disposed of his victims. But then again, maybe not, because he had a routine. He dumped them in alleyways and covered them in trash. So, like, that signature just shows that he didn't think as women, as human beings. He thought that they were disposable like a piece of trash.
Right.
And being a garbage man, he probably was able to revisit some of his victims in the alleyways and stuff that he worked.
Yeah, because he would see them weekly.
Mm-hmm. And being a primary, just hunting in one specific neighborhood, there's not very many places to dump. And then in and then in March of 2002, he would pick up again, taking the life of a 15-year-old Princess Berthonomix. Not probably saying that right, but we'll just go with Princess. And then again, July 11th of 03, he striked again, killing 35-year-old Valerie McCorvey, and his final victim in 2007, 25-year-old Janice Peters, on January 1st of 07.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he kept them pretty much in the same age, but I
don't know how we got from 18 to 15, though. I don't know how we got.
Yeah.
That's a significant jump. But he had... Honestly, I think it's ironic how he caught, so I'm actually kind of intrigued to hit that topic.
He had raped them and he would rape them, beat them, strangle them, or shoot them. And he would photograph them and dispose of their bodies in alleyways. Some he would cover with trash. Police couldn't seem to catch him because even though he had a rap sheet, his DNA was never on file to compare the DNA he left behind on his victims. But isn't your DNA taken every time?
Okay, so, no. Back between, don't quote me on this, but there was a mishap. So, DNA wasn't started to be a thing until like 2000s. So when he was raping and doing his little petty stuff, like when he raped in the military, they weren't doing DNA. When he would get in trouble with the law and get locked up, they wasn't doing DNA then.
Gotcha.
But how they caught him is ironic.
It wasn't until Lonnie's son Christopher was picked up on a felony weapons charge where his DNA was put into the system. So when the police used a new method called familiar DNA, where they match the closest blood relative, and when they got a hit off of Christopher's DNA, they started looking into his father, Lonnie.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So basically, you spread your seed, and then your seed got your ass caught. Because had he not have planted that seed and had his son, they probably would have never caught him. Yeah, so familiar DNA, which I don't know if it was necessarily used. Like, they had to get more concrete evidence, though. Like, they couldn't just be like, oh, we got a hit, it's his father. They couldn't do that, because if they would have took familiar DNA matching into a court of law, it most likely would have been thrown out.
Right.
So that this just started them on the trail. This just started them to have a suspect. Because his son was an idiot. Thank God his son was an idiot, had zero brain skills. because that would lead us to him getting caught. So how he gets caught and how the cops play it is very sneaky, and I kind of enjoyed how they caught him. And on July 5th, 2010, they set up a team to follow Lonnie to a pizzeria. So at the pizzeria, they were having, I think, a birthday party or family get-together, and they had a detective. He went undercover as a busboy, and then he collected a half-eaten pizza slice, a cup, and a napkin. And they had sent it to the DNA lab. While Lonnie's DNA from the DNA they collected was finally matched, and police would go on to arrest Lonnie on July 7th of 2010. He would be charged and later convicted of 10 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. So, like, they caught this motherfucker while he was eating pizza. Like,
he got away with it for so long and then got busted over pizza.
And then the motherfucker slips on pizza. I mean, I would too. I'm fat. I like pizza. But still, like, who leaves a half-eaten pizza anyways?
Right.
Well, I'm just fat. I wouldn't leave it. I wouldn't leave an empty plate of pizza, and I wouldn't leave a taco. But still, like, it's just ironically funny how he got caught. Because he went from the 70s, if you think about it, from the 70s clear to the 2000s. That's a long fucking time.
Yeah. While the police searched his home, they found the gun he used and upward of 1,000 gruesome photos hidden behind a wall in his home.
But they only charged him with 10 murders. But there was over 1,000 pictures. That's the reason why they say they don't believe he really went dormant for 14 years.
Yeah. I don't see him going dormant for 15 years.
No. He may not have killed in that time frame, but I guarantee you he raped. A rapist just don't go dormant. They can't. Once they get a taste for it, they can't be rehabilitated.
Lonnie was found guilty and sentenced to death by lethal injection, but he died of natural causes March 28th of 2020.
Yeah, so he...
Oh, so that was just here recently.
Yeah, so he... Okay, so he started in the 70s. I think the raping of the girl in the military is what kicked off his taste for it.
Right.
All right, and then you have not to discriminate or anything, but he lives in a primarily all black neighborhood where back then all gangs would probably just go to that neighborhood because it was easy for crime to come and go, easy to push drugs come and go, easy for prostitution, because there was just so much crime going on that cops had to overlook one thing just to be able to keep up with another. And I don't know if the women were prostitutes or not. I mean, I'm assuming maybe they were, or that's how he at least picked his victims at random, or they had a drug problem because he had easy targets.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because we never really did find out how he picked his victims.
No, there really wasn't anything in depth on that. It was just he did this, and this, and then he went dormant for 14 years, which is bullshit because he didn't go dormant for 14 years. It's just I think he switched up his pattern, and then old habits he fell back into, like the raping, the beating, and without DNA back then, starting out the way he did without being able to compare the DNA allowed him to get away for so long because he left saliva on their breast.
And I bet you if they would go to surrounding areas and pull old cold cases,
they probably would find
would find more.
Oh, they probably would find more. It's just his neighborhood was, which is awful ballsy actually, though. To basically eat where you shit.
Right.
I mean, that's basically what he was doing, though.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
getting his cake and then going home to his wife. But another thing is he dumped him in alleyways with the trash. He wasn't afraid to get caught. He must have just thought he wasn't gonna get caught because he disposed him. He didn't try to hide him.
He was super, super cocky.
Yeah, he didn't try to hide him at all. And then, he also, he stayed married. Nobody would have suspected him. He never got a divorce. He stayed married. Like, his own wife didn't even suspect him at that point.
I don't see how you could be married to somebody for so long and not realize that they're a serial killer.
They say the best kinds of serial killers hide in plain sight.
Yeah, but he would have had to have shown, like, with the way he killed these women and raped them and stuff.
You would think he would show some type of that in the bedroom.
He would have to show some sort of anger issues or...
Well, not unless he married a very submissive woman. You know, because women back then didn't really talk back. We talk back now. Like, you want to give us some shit, we're going to give you some shit back. Like, you want to throw hands, let's go. We're going to throw hands. But back then, they were, yes, honey, this, honey, that, honey, blah, 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 blah. So, like, he probably had a very submissive wife. But with that kind of violence, even raping, you would think he would show it in the bedroom.
You would think.
Unless his wife just didn't tickle his fancy. There's always that.
I mean, maybe he was aggressive in the bedroom and his wife just thought he was freaky. I mean... You know what I mean, though?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, I don't know how to go.
I'm trying to figure out, like,
how she went and had 2 kids and didn't know that her husband was the grim sleeper of all things possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And I also don't understand, like, how we went from 18 to 15 either.
Right.
That's why I'm thinking maybe he went from, I'm not saying they were prostitutes, but that's why I'm thinking they may have been prostitutes. Because a 15-year-old's not going to say, hey, I'm 15. Maybe, or maybe he caught her walking home at random.
Well, and back in them days, though, older men did go for...
What are you talking about? Men still do that.
Well, yeah, but now you catch a charge.
I mean...
Back then, it wasn't uncommon for...
Well, even in 2000, it wasn't uncommon.
No.
I mean, I was 16 with a 25-year-old, so... It's not uncommon. Would I do that now or let a child do it now? No, but... I guess I can see what your point is, but I think he was like 50. 30s. He might have been 38. 50s. He was old. I'm not saying 30s are old. I meant to say 50s. 30s and up. I meant to say 50 and up is old for a 14-year-old.
Go ahead, correct it.
Just because it's your birthday. How old are you, honey?
A woman never discloses her age.
Well, we know it's at least 30. You got also awful aggressive. I'm not a day over 25, Cheyenne.
I'm 23 and holding.
23 with like 23 times 8.
Hey!
Okay, excuse me, 23 times. 23 plus. plus 8. I said we were from Ohio. I didn't say we were good at math. Oh,
Can somebody not math today?
Bitch, I ain't never been able to math. I just wing it. I wing it. And with my nifty calculator.
I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was going to be a short episode for y'all. But that's going to be a wrap on this week's episode. Once again, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Remember, we have Instagram, Spotify, Audible, and Facebook, and YouTube. And we did have TikTok, but it was being a little bitch. So
Yeah.
we were having killer views, and then they were like, oh, community guidelines, we're going to take you down. So we're working on TikTok. It'll be up. It won't be up. Who knows? Just keep a...
We're going to try to get it up again for you guys.
Yeah, they're being crybabies right now.
We had another account, so we're going to try to get that one up and running.
We're not everybody's cup of tea, apparently.
And then we put in an appeal to get our old account back. Hopefully we can get that set back up.
Ow. No, never got me. Noah says hi, guys. Alright. New episode Sunday. Bye.